What's up, family? Gerald the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Let the King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to the Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.
What's up, good people? BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
Back on the show, you see him in the background, Coach Joe Scott, Air Force Falcons, here with me on the Bossman Show. Coach, good to see you again. How things going with you guys out there, man?
Thanks for having me on. Everything's good. Obviously, just getting ready to, hard to believe as college football season just starts. We're already getting ready to start college basketball practice. It's a little different days these days. I think our first practice is September 26th, our first allowable date, September 25th. And just seems like it keeps getting earlier and earlier. And we start school earlier than everybody out here. We started August 10th. Wow. So I got to be real careful this time of year, with the amount that we do with our guys preseason, because it just can make it for such a long year. So this time of year, sort of, our guys play every day, just try to minimize the amount we actually coach them, that I coach them, so that this voice as we go through the year doesn't, for the guys doesn't get old, and that's a big part of this sort of fall preseason for us.
Now, Coach, you said something very profound there. I remember when I was going to NC State playing football, we started school the last week of August. But of course, I had to be there for football camp earlier than that. Right. But school started the last week of August. Not, you said August 10th. That's no summer.
Exactly. Well, that's our calendar. It's called the Air Force Academy. Our guys are almost always, in school. I mean, I'm not saying, and that's another reason why I just said what I said. It's not like our guys, we get a typical summer break, where maybe they're, away for 5 weeks, 6 weeks, we don't really get that. So even in the summertime, I don't demand their time. I know today in college sports, the college coach is like, be here on campus for 8 straight weeks. I just think that makes for a long year for any kid. I think that's why a lot of guys transfer, because they're constantly being like having their thumbs put on them when you're supposed to be a kid in college playing basketball and loving it. And in some respects, you got to know how to do it on your own. When you do something on your own, when it comes from you, that means you really love it.
Yes.
And that means you're going to stick with it and give it everything you have. When you're constantly being told what to do all the time and go lift weights and be on campus and you're constantly getting coached, that gets old. That gets old. And I think that makes, kids sort of after 2 years go, man, this is old. Let me go somewhere else. At least it'll be new and different.
Yes.
Even though they're going to find out it's the same, but it'll be new and different.
Yes. You got that right, Coach. And Coach, can you believe this for you, man? This is your 4th season in your second stint as being a head coach of Air Force. Is it flown by for you, Coach, being your second time around there?
Yeah, I think for me, the way I look at it is that first year when I got hired, it was COVID. There was no coaching going on. You know what I mean? You were just trying to. So for me, it's really been now 3 years back. This will be the way I look at it, like our 3rd year. We're actually coaching guys. We're getting guys. We're recruiting those guys. We're getting to the point where they're all our players, and we've through the whole recruiting process, and we're making progress. I know that we're making progress. I'm really looking forward to this season. I mean, we had our best player left, transferred. I mean, that's just what happens this year. Went to Clemson. So, instead of me, it's actually invigorating me to the point of, okay, we got to come up with ways to be better. We're not trying to replace what we lost. We have to be better. And here, we got to do things differently here. Our competition is unbelievable. Some people say it's the hardest job in the country, being in the Mountain West. You know what I mean? The teams that we play in basketball. But that makes you got to come up with some different things. We got to come up with different ways of playing, different ways of thinking. And I'm really doing that already. We've already been doing it. We know what this plan is we have. And the plan is to make improvement again. We've made improvement. We got to keep making improvement. And we're going to have some guys step up. It's like we're going to have some juniors who we've coached who haven't really played. All right, well, we've been coaching you for a reason. It's time to step up. I'm talking about, it's like, it's like a Rocky, you're going to get into the ring and, are you going to be ready? Because you have a chance, and hopefully that's what we need here at Air Force. We don't have a transfer portal. Our transfer portal has to come from within our own program. We can't go get guys out of the transfer portal. We can only lose them to the transfer portal. But that just means that the guys within our program, they got to get better. They got to improve. And when I call their number, you're a 21-year-old kid, 22-year-old kid, and we've been coaching you. You got to step up. And, hopefully we're going to get that from a few key guys this year.
And Coach, Scott, let me ask you this. When you're trying to recruit a young man to come to Air Force, a great academy, great education, great everything about Air Force, what are you looking for in a young man so that that he can handle the military piece of it, academic piece of it, and be able to play and will stay and not leave on you? Because I know that's very important. You don't invest into a kid that's going to leave on you after a year or two. So how do you go about trying to find the right fit, the right mixture of those things in a kid as you recruit them?
Well, that is obviously the challenge. I don't know that last part. I've said since I've been back, there's a lot of everything's the same. The thing that's changed is you can just leave and play right away. If you had to sit out still, the kid, we wouldn't lose guys. The first time I was here and we won the Mountain West, nobody transferred. Well, you had to sit out. Why are you going to leave what you said? A great institution, a great education. You're playing in the Mountain West. You're doing well. Why are you going to leave? Well, today you can leave because, well, I can just go over there and play right away. And they might give me some money. So I don't know if we'll continue to find out how we'll meet that challenge, but it does come down to working hard to try to, in your recruiting, finding guys that straight basketball wise can compete at this level, or the kinds of guys who, if this kid's the right kind of kid and we coach him hard and we coach him the way we do, well, 2 years from now, he will be able to compete at this level. And we have to go about it sort of differently and find different pieces, but it then comes down to, finding that kid who has that ability, that sort of talent, but then whose mind, and brain and background and parents value what we do here. This is still really, for us, this is still college basketball. our guys get a great education. Our guys graduate in 4 years. To your point, I got 6 juniors this year. They will get through this place in 4 years, play college basketball in 4 years, get a great education. I don't know how much that happens anymore because everybody's transferring schools, trying to find where the money is, and that's not what this is, so we got to find people that still value that, and still understand. And I say this all the time, no matter what, you're 20, you're going to be 25 one day. You're going to graduate, hopefully you're going to graduate college. And what all these kids are going to find out, you need a job. I don't care where you are, what you do. The time's going to come where you're going to need to get a job. And here you go to the Air Force Academy, you graduate with a great degree, you got a job. You got one of the best jobs in the country. Automatic. You're making $90,000 a year. You got great benefits. You got a job in the career that you picked and majored in college. So, we still have to find people that understand that, value that, and know there's going to be the rest of your life, and I say this all the time. I mean, in this world we live in today, a lot of these kids are just going to find out when they're 26, there's no NIL money anymore. There's no such thing as NIL when you're 26 years old. Nobody's giving you money. You know what I mean? So, we still do things that way, and we have to find those kids. And most importantly is you still have to be a really good you got to be a really good basketball player. You got to love the game. You got to want to get coached and you want to get better. And if we can find those guys, well, then we'll compete. We'll swing for the fences. They say we can't win here, but I don't believe that. So, we'll swing for the fences.
You've done it before. You definitely done it before.
And I know the kinds of kids you got to get, and if you get them, then you do swing for the fences and you see what happens, so that's sort of the process we're in right now. And for us, that's every year we got to find those kids and bring them in and see who's going to develop and see who's going to put the time in, because you'll be amazed when you get an 18-year-old kid. You thought this guy over here, he was going to be the guy, like from whatever. And then you just find out 2 years later, no, it's this guy over here because this guy works his tail off. This guy cares so much. This guy puts the time in, he's got the right mental approach. So that's what this whole process is for us. And, that's why I still, I get to still coach sort of the way you used to coach college, what coaching really is. I still get to do that, put a team together, try to get them to mold, come together, stay together, develop that chemistry. A lot of other people today they're getting 8 transfers in 1 year and they got a new team every year. And that's a whole different way of coaching. And that's what a lot of college coaches got to figure out today. I still get to do it the old way, and that actually makes me happier. So, I'm glad for that.
And Coach, I had a similar situation in 2008 in the spring. I was playing football going to my senior year, right? Georgia State started football, and they tried to sell me on coming back home to Atlanta. But I've been at Tennessee State 4 years. I was going to my 5th year as a senior. I'm not going to leave and go play just to be at home just to be at home. When you start up a team, I'm like, no, I'm a senior. I know my quarterback. I'm going to get a bunch of targets, and I want to have NFL aspirations. I'm not leaving this to go that. And it's because I'm at home. So even me, it wasn't the same world, but it was brought to my attention that we want to have you here. You come home, but I value loyalty, Coach. I value people who have cared for me for 4 years. And, my dad's a Vietnam veteran. My dad was a coach too. So I value certain things that my dad's 85 years old, Coach Scott. Still, he instilled in me a lot of stuff. So even at 08, as a 22-year-old, I knew better than to leave somebody been in 4 years, start something brand new.
Yeah. Well, and I think, one way I look at it these days is, and this is how what you're saying is true. You said loyalty. That's what you value. That's not valued anymore because all you hear people say today is, it's all about relationships. It's all about relationships. Well, me and you already know that. That's what you learn as you go through it. Yeah. It is all about, and when it is for you, you don't have to say it. You don't go around saying it's all about relationships. When people to me are saying it's all about relationships, that's when the buzzer goes off in my head, and I know, oh, no, it's not. It's all about something else for you.
Transactional.
Right? That's what it is. It's all about the money. It's all about what are you going to do for me? And
Yes,
it's not
sir.
about that relationship. It's not about that loyalty anymore, but that's fine. That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? And I really don't know anymore how much people value education. You know what I mean? I don't value it. They value, where's the money? You know, and all right, I just know from experience, you know what? When you're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, that's when you got to learn, got to value your education. You got to know life's about relationships and it's about loyalty, because you're just going to find that out as you go through your life that it is, you know, and I think it's going to be one of the ramifications, negative consequences of this time is a lot of these kids are just going to find out when they're 28 and they went to 3 schools, they don't have any relationships.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you didn't take the time to build them, because it was all about you and what you wanted. And, you know, so again, I'm fortunate that I coach at a place where that is still what it's all about. You know, I'm unfortunate, you know, because it's such a hard job, you know, like that we're not the same as San Diego State. We're not the same as Colorado State, but we got to figure out ways to beat them. Well, that's what coaching's all about. That's what competition's all about. And we're still sort of doing it, you know, in that fashion, which, like I said earlier, you know, makes me really enjoy what I do.
And Coach Scott, my dad was so happy here. I'm talking to you because my dad's a West Point guy. So my dad's so happy to be talking to you today, because he said, son, you're doing the right thing. People need to hear about the military schools. I said, Dad, I understand that. I know what I'm doing.
That's right.
You know, but I'm thankful for my dad, Coach Scott, because my dad gave me those qualities that are missing in today's young man. My dad instilled in me young about loyal relationships, making sound decisions, seeing the bigger picture, not the small picture. And a lot of these guys are taking this quick money just to be the 8th man on the bench and not. And where's your tape? Where's the film? Where's your film at? You didn't play. You only played 4 minutes here, 8 minutes a game, and we don't want to sign you. I'd rather be a world beater at a quote unquote non-power 5 school and put out good film and put out good tape and get signed that way, and not just someone to take this quick money and I'm on the bench forever. You know, I'm not playing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I call it the long game. You know, I mean, everybody today wants to play the short game, and that's not the way in life to be successful in life. You know, I mean, it's called the long game. You got to know it's the long game, and you put your time in, you build those relationships. You know, I have a son who plays at Princeton, and well, guess what? He's got great teammates. It's the long you play, you build that. You know what? You end up with something special. You know, and I played at Princeton and played for Coach Carrill. And all of us had one coach for 30 years, and the bonds that we have, the friendships that we have, you know, that's what college sport, you know, that's what it's about. You know what I mean? Everybody, okay, I want to keep playing. Right. Everybody wants to keep playing, but we all know in the grand scheme of things, the amount that you keep playing is going to be nowhere near the amount of the rest of your life.
Yes.
You know, and so, you know, again, we try to find those people. It might be getting harder and harder to find people who value education and the things we're talking about, but they're still out there, and we got to do it. And when you do it that way, I think, you know, over the course of 4 years and 5 years, man, you really do get something special. You know what I mean? You get to compete at such a high level. You get to compete at such a high level doing what you love with people you really respect and have a relationship with. And there's nothing like that. You know what I mean? That's called being on a team. And a lot of these kids, they're not on a team, man. They're all on their own team. These people are, you know, there's nothing like being on a team. You know what I mean? And when you're on one and you know it, that's when it's fun, you know, and when you're not, and you're on a bunch of guys who think they're on a team, who are all on their own team, it ain't any fun. You know, that's, I mean, and so again, I'm fortunate that I get to keep coaching this way, you know, and having to do it in a way where, okay, we got to come up with some different ways to compete against San Diego State, to play against New Mexico. You know, we got some really good teams in this league. San Diego State played for the national championship last year. All right, we got to figure out, I got to get guys who say, you know what? It doesn't matter what they say, right? It's what we do, because they say we can't beat them. All right, I don't know who they are, and I don't care who they are. I just care who we are and what we have inside
Yes.
of us, and hopefully we can keep building what we're doing here. And this year, if we could make progress again, then we're going to have a lot of guys back the following year. And that's, what building a team and building a program is. And, we'll get started here in the next couple of weeks.
And Coach, I got two more for you, Coach. And one of them is about your MTE you're having out there, man. Tell me about the MTE you guys are hosted and what teams will be involved in the MTE.
Yeah, but we got it's the Falcon Classic, Air Force Falcon Classic. We got William and Mary is coming out to play. Omaha is coming out of Summit League. So William and Mary's in the Colonial, Omaha's in the Summit League. And then we got Lindenwood, who's new to Division One, second year, I think, Division One.
OVC school. Yep.
What's that?
OVC school.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly. They're coming out. They're from St. Louis. So, it's going to be good. It's going to be 3 games at our place, but we're doing 3 games over 4 days. So there'll actually be like a day off in between. But it's one of those things where these MTEs, doesn't matter if you're in one of the big time ones or whether you're in one that we're doing, it's an opportunity sort of to play 2 games in 2 days, maybe take a day. It's almost like conference tournament at the end of the year. Somewhere in there, you got to get that experience of, yeah, we got back-to-back games. We might have 3 games in a row if you want to actually win your conference tournament. So again, it's making sure you have those opportunities on your schedule. And for us, makes us, we got to be good at home. In order to be good at home, you got to play home games. You got to win those games. And when you're building a program again, well, then your fans are there and they see you playing at home and they see you winning. Okay, you do that non-conference. That's what you got to do first before you say you're going to do it in the Mountain West. I know we got to figure out how to win league games at home. Well, guess what? Best way to do that is win non-conference games at home, and then you're developing that habit of winning, having a home court advantage, and then you figure out how to take that next step in league.
That's one for your coaches. With Coach, you're not coaching hard and doing your thing on the court, man. How do you get time just to Coach Scott and to decompress a little bit, get away from basketball and just kind of enjoy life?
Well, I think I'm fortunate, I think, just in the fact that, I played for Pete Carrill, coached with Pete Carrill. My experience in coaching, and people would maybe look at Pete Carrill and think he was like just an intense rate, which he was, but he was an unbelievable sort of mentor, because I think sometimes someone might look at me like, well, he's so intense. And well, I think since I am, and since he was, we have such a way to know that, well, okay, I'm that intense, but you can't be that way all the time. So then there's a balance that I just naturally have. It's almost like when I leave, you know what I mean? And that doesn't mean I don't think, okay, what can we do better? But I'm not staying and going crazy, and I'm not crazy with my assistants. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, you guys have to have your own life. You're professionals. You got to figure that out. And, you got to know how to do your job. And I think if you can do it that way, again, you build a good team. I know my staff, my coaches like each other. They love being with each other. They enjoy spending time with each other. We spend time with each other outside of basketball, and I think that's what coaching really is. We all know, okay, I know you got to win. We all know you got to win. We all know there's that kind of pressure. Trick is, as you know it, don't have it come into your sort of personal life. You know what I mean? Just make sure you're able to enjoy your coaches and enjoy your family. I got 2 sons, one's at University of Georgia, one's playing at Princeton. And my wife, enjoy what you have, and figure out ways to make sure that you're always doing that. It's hard to do in this day and age because people are always thinking, but you can't worry about that. You know what I mean? Because none of that helps you when you're on the court. You know what I mean? None of that helps you get your players to do the things that you're asking them to do better. So that is a trick. But like I said, I think I just had really good men, playing for coach, working with him, Bill Carmody. I just been around some really, really, I would say great coaches who are normal. That's why I say normal guys, so, but it is a trick in this business today to try to make sure you have that balance.
Well, Coach Scott, we're fresh to have us talk with you, and sharing your perspective on it and sharing my perspective with you as well. I feel like people should what we talked about today is some people really hear about. And I think it will be refreshing for our listeners to hear something different about the game of basketball and how you do it, man. So I want to have you on the show because I know Air Force is a little different and all these other schools out here. So hearing about from your perspective going to really help to understand what it is about being Air Force Falcon.
No, I appreciate you having me on. I know we've been on before, and you know what? Love talking with you because it is good to hear different things and get different perspectives and still know that, all right, we're in the Mountain West and we're competing like everybody else and we got to figure out ways to win. But we still are doing it a little bit differently.
Yes, sir. Coach Scott, always fun, man. Best luck to you this year. Hope we're talking in March when you're going to the big dance.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
I see you, Coach. It was fun.
All right, we'll see you later. Yep, thanks.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Yes, BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV, covering content and hot topics from A to Z, sports, music, society and culture, movie reviews, you name it, we have it. Check it out on bs3network.com or check us out on Roku, BS3 TV on Roku, as well as check out your favorite podcast on all podcast platforms or Spreaker.com/BS3 Network.
You are now tuned to BS3 Network.
What's up, good people? Bet Online is your number one source for all your betting needs. The latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. Bet Online continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use your promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts. What's up, family? Gerald the Bossman here. You're tuned into the Bossman Show on AM 1010, AM 1430, 1055 The King. Check The King out at 105theking.com and the Bossman Show at bossmanshow.com. Hit me up on Instagram, The Bossman Show, Twitter at Bossman Show, and Facebook, Bossman Show. It's the Bossman on your radio.
Listen to the Bossman Show with your host, JR, Saturdays at 9 a.m. right here on AM 1010, The King.